This is the cold, hard truth about rebounds. All right, listen up. You just got dumped, or maybe you did the dumping. Either way, you're hurting, and there's this emptiness inside you that you don't want to feel. Then boom, a new woman comes along. She's different, she's exciting, she's the exact opposite of your ex, and that's what makes her perfect. Or so you think. But let's be real here. This is a rebound, and deep down, you already know how this is going to end. The real question is, will this new relationship save you, or is it just another ticking time bomb? The illusion of the perfect replacement. Here's what happens when you jump into a rebound. Your brain tricks you. It convinces you that this new woman is exactly what you need. Why? Because you're desperate. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to sit with your emotions, and you definitely don't want to think about your ex moving on before you do. But this perfect new girl, she's not perfect. She's just different, and different doesn't mean better. Most guys rush into a rebound relationship thinking they've upgraded, but what they've really done is slap a band-aid over an open wound. And you know what happens to wounds that don't heal properly? They get infected. The clock is already ticking. Let's be brutally honest. Rebound relationships have an expiration date. You're not in this for the long haul. And whether you realize it or not, neither is she. Studies show that most rebounds last anywhere from a few weeks to 6 months. That's it. Why? Because relationships that start as an escape from pain aren't built on anything real. They're built on fear. Fear of being alone, fear of missing your ex, fear of dealing with your own demons. And here's the worst part. When it ends, and it will, you're going to feel 10 times worse than you did before. Are you really over your ex? Be honest. A lot of guys lie to themselves and say, I'm over her. But let me ask you this. If you were truly over your ex, why do you need someone else so quickly? Why can't you just be alone for a little while? Here's the truth. Most guys use rebound relationships as a way to avoid healing. But avoiding pain doesn't make it go away. It just buries it deeper, and when it finally surfaces, it's going to hit you like a truck. So before you dive headfirst into something new, ask yourself, am I running towards something real or just running away from something painful? The emotional roller coaster of rebounds. Rebound relationships feel amazing at first. You get all the highs of a new romance without the baggage of a real commitment. But then reality sets in. You start noticing things about her that don't sit right. You start comparing her to your ex, and worst of all, you start realizing that you don't actually like her as much as you thought. Why? Because she was never the right girl. She was just the right distraction. And let me tell you, distractions always wear off. When that happens, you're going to be right back where you started, except now you've dragged another person into your mess. Sex, validation, and the ego boost. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, a big reason why men jump into rebounds, sex. Nothing makes a guy feel better after a breakup than having someone new in his bed. It's a confidence boost. It makes you feel wanted again. But here's the problem. If you're using sex to heal, you're not healing at all. You're just numbing yourself. And numbing yourself doesn't fix the problem. It just delays it. So ask yourself, are you really into this new girl? Or are you just using her to feel good about yourself? The false sense of moving on. A rebound relationship can trick you into thinking you've moved on. You're smiling, you're going on dates, you're posting pictures online, your ex is probably seeing them too. But here's the harsh truth. Moving on isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's not about making your ex jealous. It's not about keeping yourself distracted. It's about actually healing. And healing means facing your emotions, dealing with your past, and becoming a better version of yourself. A rebound might feel like a shortcut, but in reality, it's just a detour that leads you right back to square one. The rebound's perspective. Is she using you too? Let's flip the script for a second. What if she's rebounding too? What if you're not her perfect new guy, but just her way of getting over someone else? A lot of guys never consider this, but rebounds go both ways. You might think you're the one in control, but in reality, she might be using you just as much as you're using her, and when she's done, she'll leave just as quickly as she arrived, because at the end of the day, a relationship built on emotional instability isn't a relationship. It's just two people avoiding their own problems. Our rebounds can actually hurt you in the long run. Think about this. Every failed relationship leaves scars. The more rebounds you go through, the more baggage you carry. And if you're not careful, you'll become the guy who never truly heals, who just jumps from woman to woman, never forming real connections. That's not strength, that's weakness. Real strength comes from sitting with your emotions, learning from your past, and becoming a man who doesn't need a rebound to feel whole. If you want a real relationship that actually lasts, you have to do the work first. When do rebounds actually work? Here's the twist. Not all rebounds fail. Sometimes two people meet at the right time, even if they're both healing. The key difference? Honesty. If you're upfront about where you are emotionally, if you're not using each other as a crutch, and if the connection is real, not just a distraction, then there's a chance it could work. But let's be honest, that's the exception, not the rule. Most rebounds crash and burn, so don't bet your emotional stability on a long shot. The smarter move, heal first, love later. So, what's the final verdict? Rebounds rarely work. They're temporary, they're messy, and more often than not, they leave you worse off than before. If you really want to move on, do it the right way, by healing first. Work on yourself. Find your purpose. Build your confidence from within, not from another woman. And when the time is right, when you're truly ready, the right person will come along. And guess what? That relationship, it'll actually last.